There is a silent pain many people carry without ever talking about it. The feeling that they are somehow too much, too emotional, too loving, too sensitive, too intense, too honest, too expressive. And after hearing it enough times, directly or indirectly, they begin shrinking themselves. They speak less, feel less, hide more, apologize for existing. Not because they are weak, but because they became afraid of taking up emotional space. Maybe this happened to you. Maybe you learned that being yourself made other people uncomfortable. So you became quieter, smaller, more careful. You started filtering your emotions before expressing them. You stopped saying what you truly felt. You tried to become easier to handle. But here is the truth most people never realize. You were never too much. You were simply giving your energy to people who were unable to hold it. There is a difference. A deep soul in a shallow environment will always feel misplaced. A genuine person in a disconnected world will often feel misunderstood. And sensitive hearts often suffer the most because they feel everything intensely. They notice tone changes, energy shifts, silence, distance. They replay conversations in their minds. They care deeply about people. And because of that, they often blame themselves for things that were never their fault. Over time, this creates emotional exhaustion. You begin questioning yourself constantly. Am I too emotional? Am I too attached? Am I too needy? Am I asking for too much? But sometimes, you were simply asking the wrong people for the right things. Think about that. A flower does not apologize for blooming fully. The ocean does not apologize for its depth. The sun does not apologize for shining too brightly. Yet human beings spend years apologizing for their emotions, their softness, their passion, their presence. Why? Because many people are taught that emotional depth is weakness. The world rewards emotional detach. People admire those who appear cold, distant, and unaffected. But numbness is not strength. Pretending not to care is not power. Real strength is remaining open-hearted after disappointment. Real strength is staying kind in a world that often encourages emotional distance. Some people become cold because life hurt them. Others remain soft despite the pain. And that softness is not weakness. It is courage. The truth is, people who call you too much are often uncomfortable with emotional honesty. Your depth forces them to confront parts of themselves they avoid. Your authenticity exposes their masks. Your openness reminds them how disconnected they have become. And instead of growing emotionally, they label your depth as too much. But your soul was never designed to become smaller just to fit inside emotionally unavailable spaces. You were not born to constantly dilute yourself for acceptance. You were born to exist fully, to laugh fully, love fully, feel fully. The problem is not your depth. The problem is trying to pour oceans into cups too small to hold them. And many people spend years trying to earn love by becoming less of themselves. Less emotional, less expressive, less honest. But the right people will never require you to abandon yourself to be accepted. The right people will not punish you for feeling deeply. They will not make you feel guilty for caring. They will not make you feel difficult to love. Because genuine connection does not require self-erasure. And maybe that is the lesson your soul is slowly learning. Not everyone deserves access to your deepest emotions. Not everyone deserves your vulnerability. And not everyone has the emotional capacity to understand your heart. That does not make your heart wrong. It simply means not every space is meant for you. A bird is not wrong for struggling inside a cage. And you are not wrong for struggling in environments where your spirit cannot breathe. The moment you stop seeing yourself as too much, something begins to change. You stop apologizing for your emotions. You stop shrinking your personality. You stop abandoning yourself for temporary acceptance. And slowly, you begin attracting people who appreciate your depth instead of fearing it. Because your sensitivity is not a burden. Your love is not excessive. Your emotions are not a flaw. The world may have convinced you that you needed to become colder to survive. But maybe your true healing begins the moment you realize you were never too much. You were simply surrounded by people who were not enough for your soul.